Hello, everybody. I'm Chris, and this is a little advice and tip session on improvising on the piano and little tips and tricks that can help you. In the following extract, you can see me using two chords, F major 7 and C major 7, which to me sort of just reinforces the fact that to improvise you don't need some crazy harmonic knowledge or elaborate harmonic detail and structure. You can use two beautiful, uplifting, nostalgic chords and develop on them with various things like piano technique, style, piano register, and more. So as you can see here, I'm using these two very jazzy, uplifting, nostalgic chords to sort of base my improvisation around, and you can see me sort of develop it with these little additions. So for example, going into different registers, different octaves, using different inversions of the chords. An chordal inversion is essentially just playing the chord but in the notes in a different order. So for example, if you were to play a C major chord in its root inversion as C, E, G, you could play it in its first inversion instead, with E being the bottom note and then E, G, C being that new inversion. And you can do this with all chords, and it gives you a different color and a different almost palette in a way to play the chord, which is so beautiful in its own variation. And as well as that, you can use different playing techniques. For example, alternating between very legato, long chord holds, very soft playing, and very arpeggiated, staccato, fast playing, which definitely gives different dynamic and different variation to what you're playing. And as you can see as well, I utilize different registers, as I said before, going low, going high, and interacting again with different registers of the piano to further sort of add that different tone. As well as that, there are little melodic ideas, acciaccaturas and appoggiaturas, as well as developing melodic material and adding grace notes between different chords to add a sense of continuation and movement, as if we are going somewhere harmonically without actually changing the harmony. Melody is super important with harmony because a lot of the time chords are very functional to serve a melody, and people's ears always lend themselves to melody in a plethora of ways, especially within modern music. So I think it is extremely important if you're improvising to have a think about melody and to think about what chords the melody leads themselves to, or what type of melody you'd like to explore. And a beautiful thing about improvisation is that this can actually be super individual and super unique, and melody can evolve and change over time, and there is never a right or wrong answer. And especially improvising in such beautiful chords as F major 7 and C major 7, there is really not there's not much room to go wrong. If you're playing on the white notes, on the whole, the melody will sound good. So I hope that these little ideas helped you out and gave you a few ideas of and tips of how to improvise. Improvisation takes time and practice, but there's no barrier to entry. Sometimes I think the best way of doing it is actually to give yourself the limitation of improvising on one chord or two chords and playing it in different inversions, playing it in different octaves, playing with different piano techniques and styles. And therefore, you can actually learn to actually feel the music in a way that you don't necessarily get with read notation or in memorized pieces, etc. This is a way of you actually being the control pilot and deciding actually where this thing goes, and you actually, in a sense, become a sort of momentary composer. And that sense of musical decision making on the spot in the moment is very meditative and also just extremely palliating. So I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that this helped anyone who seeks to start their journey into piano improvisation and things like that. So if you'd like more videos like this in the future from me, feel free to drop a comment and the like. But yeah, thanks.